Oh yeah, in this lesson we're going to have a look at fretting hand techniques, and this is in particular looking at what's known as double stops. So playing two notes at the same time that are on different strings. So first of all, just to let you know, we're in E flat tuning, so a good fretting hand technique would kind of arch the fingers. So if I turn sideways, then you know that's how you approach a single note. You see that there. And when we play double stops, then that's not helpful. So it's going to get in the way of vibrato and other expressionate kind of phrasing techniques, like being able to bend a double stop. So being able to do that, we need to move our fingers so that they're coming away from that sort of position and they're going flat. So we're going to go for a double stop on the 16th fret of the B and the G string. So the notes individually are and okay. So we're going to bring our third finger on the fretting hand and approach those notes. So you play the 16th on the G and then flatten it. Notice as well that I've got the second finger behind the third finger, and it's just kind of there supporting that. It's the first finger's it's touching a string, but it's not really, there's not really putting much pressure down on it. It's kind of a muting technique. Now what you want to aim to do is bring those fingers to be flat against the fretboard, so they're going to be straight rather than bent there, like that. That's just a good single note position. But nice and kind of straight, and I come in at an angle as well. You don't have to, but might make it a little bit easier for doing things like pull-offs, if you're kind of coming in at a little bit of an angle. Now the next step to do, once you've got the two notes and they're singing and ringing out clearly, and you get to the sustain, then you might want to see if you can do a bend on those two notes. So just taking some time to, you know, see how that finger is actually shaped there. You'll notice that it sort of rises, and then it actually like falls there from not where the knuckle is, but where this joint is here. So we're kind of going up and then coming down, and this part of the finger here, there's sort of some pressure there that is being applied, and that's the trick to be able to do that technique, or it's part of it anyway. So yeah, flat fingers and bringing these fingers on there as well. That will help with the muting. And once you've got that, that's sort of like a good step to get to, and you know, you're doing pretty well if you can get to that point. And you know that you're going to get the and then you can pull off of the double stops. So really, the thing to practice there is actually just pulling off from double stops and treating that as a separate entity. So what you want to do there is take the 16th fret of the G and the B and have the first finger flat down on the 14th fret, and you'll notice there that the sustain actually wasn't even it wasn't ringing out. There is a way, if you've got the technique, then yeah, you can get enough kind of power with that pull off to get a note on the 14th fret, and it's a snapping motion downwards on that. That was quite excessive, you kind of got a little bit of a change in pitch there. So that's the summit to practice as well, and a separate kind of exercise. Now if I try going up, it really loses a lot of that power. So you can get a lot more kind of dynamics that are consistent with the loudness of what you've picked the note if you bend or if you pull off down to the ground and work with gravity with that. So figure 1 would be get the bend or get the actual double stop rather. Then figure 2 would be to get the bend on the double stop. And figure 3 would be, say figure 4 could just be going up and then going down on that bend. Like that. And developing the fret in hand strength to be able to sustain that note or notes on the way up and on the way down. And then once you've got that, then go for the pull off. And yeah, if you can do that phrase there, then you're doing pretty well. Try this out in different positions on the neck as well. I would definitely encourage that. Yeah. That's the 14th fret down to the 12th. You might want to try some vibrato on that as well, aiming to get that sort of consistency. And different fingers as well on these double stops. So first finger double stops, second finger, third finger, fourth finger. Always an interesting one. And then working on different strings as well. That's a very good thing to do. Without running ahead too far, then just going back to that is a good place to start, and even just being able to get away from this sort of position of the arched fingers there. If you've got that, then great for single notes, but for double stops, not helpful. You want to flatten the finger and the fingers, and have the third finger and the second finger down on the fretboard to give you that support and improve the tone, where you're able to mute some of the other strings around that note. And of clarity there with it. So, okay, that summarises that lesson, which was looking at the fretting hand techniques and having a good kind of look at double stops and bending double stops as well. Okay, we'll wrap it up there. Cheers then. Take care. Bye.